Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital teasers for Friday, May 23rd, suggest that more explosions are on the way as the 2025 Nurses' Ball concludes. The final performances are poised to take the stage, but it appears that everyone will be more focused on the Gio Palmieri bombshell that was dropped during the Thursday, May 22nd broadcast. As some fans may already know, Gio overheard Lulu Spencer tell Lois Cerullo that his entire existence had been a lie. Gio was looking for his earpiece when he attempted to walk inside the dressing area to retrieve it from Lois. However, before he could fully enter, he heard Lulu announce that Joe's parents were Brooklyn Quartermaine Chase and Dante Falconeri, and he was adopted. Lulu then warned Lois to inform Dante today or tomorrow. Gio, looking unhappy, took the stage and began playing his tango song, while Anna Devane and Harrison Chase began to dance, but then he stopped. He revealed to the audience that he was about to do something he had never done before. General Hospital spoilers for Friday, May 23rd. Rory Gibson debuts as Michael. This is when he revealed that this number was dedicated to his parents, Brooklyn and Dante, who never wanted him and placed him for adoption. He then smashed his violin on stage, much to the audience's surprise, and ran out of the venue. It appears that Friday's broadcast will focus on the aftermath of the Gio bombshell. A snippet from tomorrow's show is shown, with Olivia Quartermaine crying and Ned Quartermaine looking upset, as Sonny Corinthos comments that Lois must know something. Meanwhile, the GH peak depicts Carly Spencer telling Lulu to get off the track before you get leveled. Lulu is panicking out, and who can blame her? She is the one who started this mess. Speaking of Carly, she will be given with an intriguing proposition. What might it be about? Meanwhile, Carly may be overjoyed at the end of Friday's episode, when Rory Gibson, the Michael Corinthos replacement, makes his debut. Jason Morgan will receive a suspicious phone call, and it appears that Michael may want aid getting to the nurses' ball and announcing his return to Port Charles. Meanwhile, the GH peak shows Willow Tate Corinthos speaking with someone unknown, saying, "I want to end this terrible fight over the kids." Will she and Michael have a reunion on Friday's show? Or is Willow talking to someone else? In other Nurses' Ball news, Trina Robinson will have some nervousness as she prepares for her performance. In fact, in the GH teaser for the May 23rd episode, Lucy Coe is seen asking Trina and Jocelyn Jacks why they aren't dressed in their costumes. Given the pain their friend Gio is experiencing, they may not be in the mood to perform. Yet, the show must go on. In non-Nurses' Ball news, Elizabeth Baldwin will be watching the show from the couch when someone unexpectedly appears to surprise her. Will it be Lucky Spencer or potentially Rick Lansing? Finally, GH teasers state that Max Scorpio will be able to breathe easier. Does this imply that he will get Tracy Quartermaine out of his hair? Tracy is seen on the GH preview asking that someone get her out of there. General Hospital spoilers suggest Tracy may have received a Gio update, and she will be frantic to speak with her family and granddaughter, Brooklyn, to properly comprehend what is going on. Lulu orders Lois to tell the truth or she will, and Joe's second performance brings the Nurses' Ball to a halt. Thursday, May 22nd, 2025. On General Hospital, Chase sings, YD performs, and the truth about Gio is finally revealed. On the Metro Court patio, Portia begs Curtis not to abandon their marriage and family, because she committed a mistake. He claims he can't undo what she has done. Nina meets Carly in the ladies' room and tells her that she genuinely wanted their partnership to work, but she pressed her hand by pushing the court date. Whatever happens next is up to Carly. At the bar, Ned tells Sonny that, despite their conflicts, he must give him credit for paying for Joe's school because he is exceptional. Ned then observes Willow and Drew and approaches them. He warns Ned that he will not allow him get away with setting up his mother. Meanwhile, Brooklyn encourages Dante to compliment Gio. Dante compliments him on his performance up there, stating that he is quite talented. Lucy arrives and shouts at Dante and Cody for not being in costume yet. Backstage, Lulu advises Lois not to appear surprised. She's always known Gio was her grandson but has kept the truth from him his entire life. Curtis accuses Portia of tearing their beautiful family apart by lying and manipulating him to do Drew's bidding. She begs him to not give up on them. He hasn't, at least not tonight, because it would signal to Drew that she has been exposed. He says they'll play the role of the happy couple tonight. Drew says he has no idea what he's talking about, but Ned claims his mother would never leave proof of a crime in her own car. Ned informs Willow that they tried to give her the benefit of the doubt, believing Drew used her in the same way he did Michael. Olivia joins Ned as Willow explains that she is not a victim, and that Michael refused to visit her when she traveled to Germany. Olivia warns Willow not to expect compassion when this goes wrong. Nina tells Carly that she has forced her hand and will testify that Michael abandoned his children and refused to see or talk with Willow, even though she flew to Germany to meet him. She claims that everything appears to be going wrong for Michael, but Carly dismisses this as a spin. Nina claims just one parent has constantly been there for those children, and it is not Michael. Emma encounters Sunny, Brooklyn, and Gio. Emma praises Joe's performance. They all decide to return to their seats. Backstage, Lulu informs Lois that she can show Dante as Joe's father, and that he got Brooklyn pregnant at summer camp. Lucy approaches the stage to welcome Chase, Dante, Cody, and Isaiah, who are playing The Look of Love by ABC. Chase sings the lead. Lucy walks the stage to thank Jen Sidwell for supporting the evening. Brooklyn and Chase kiss backstage, and she remarks that he was quite attractive up there. Lucy intervenes, stating that no PDAs are permitted in the workplace. Lois takes them off, and Gio asks Lucy where his Aunt Lois is because she has his earpiece. Lucy believes she was in the changing room. Kai and Trina run across Curtis and Portia, and Trina wonders where they've been. They say they've been around and won't miss her act. Curtis excuses himself to grab drinks, while Kai and Trina visit the silent auction. Portia then notices Curtis and Jordan again. Nina approaches Portia and informs her that she has been looking for her because Curtis is suspicious. Portia claims Curtis knows everything, and she's concerned about what he'll do next. At the bar, Curtis tells Jordan that Drew is blackmailing Portia. He desperately wanted to be mistaken about this. Vaughn arrives and Joss treats him like a waiter. She inquires as to why he is here, to which he responds that he is enjoying the evening and helping a worthy cause. Carly interrupts and wonders who Joss' friend is. In the dressing room, Lulu tells Lois what she knows about Gio, who is Brooklyn and Dante's son, and Lois misidentifies her as Carmilla Palmieri's son. Vaughn introduces himself to Carly and mentions that he knows Joss from PCU. He says he'll see them around and walks away. Carly tells Joss that he's cute, so what's the deal? Lois insists to Lulu that Brooklyn knows nothing about Gio. Lois says that she and her mother could not let Gio go, so they made arrangements to keep him in the family. Gio opens the door and listens as Lulu informs Lois that Joe's life has been a deception, and he is not Camilla and Francis Palmieri's son, but Brooklyn and Dante's. Lucy then brings rockstar Wydee onto the stage. She performs the song Old Her. Lois advises Lulu to consider the lives she will damage if this goes out. Lulu claims she isn't being petty and hasn't thought about anything else for months, but Lois' actions are inappropriate. Either Lois tells Gio and Dante the truth tonight, or she will tell them tomorrow. Lulu storms out. Sunny talks to Anna and wonders if she got to speak with Robin. Anna did, and she is disappointed she is unable to attend, though Emma is capturing some behind-the-scenes photos for her mother. She is pleased to be here to honor Robin and others like Stone. Ada Turner interrupts, and Anna exits to change for another performance. Turner remarks to Sunny that his and Anna's interaction appeared intimate. Sunny adds they were talking about Robin and Stone Cates, who are the reason this event is taking place, and she should look them up. He walks away. Jordan talks to Isaiah at the bar and compliments his dancing skills. He praises her and points out that she should be on his arm tonight, not Sidwell's. Willow expresses her delight that Drew's name has been cleared, which will aid with the custody hearing. Drew implies that they can now begin a new life, either here or in DC. Willow is taken aback by his comment but has no time to respond. Nina interrupts, saying Rick has asked her to testify, and she will take the stand to declare those kids belong to her and Drew, and they have her entire support going ahead. Willow thanks and hugs her mother, and Drew says it means everything to them. Carly and Joss keep an eye on Nina, Drew, and Willow. Joss says they make her want to throw up. She can't wait for her mother to remove the kids from them. Backstage, Emma meets Chase and Anna, who are about to perform the tango. Nobody can find Gio, who is scheduled to play in their show. Willow meets Isaiah by the bar and compliments him on his performance on stage. Isaiah hopes to have a date set for the event by next year. Willow says she'll be lucky to be with him. Emma discovers Gio out on the patio angry. She asks him what's wrong. Lulu pulls Cody aside and tells him she faced Lois, who admitted everything. Dante then intervenes, asking what they are whispering about. Kai informs Trina that he's been thinking about next year's ball, and that they may perform together. They kiss. Lois rushes around like a chicken with its head severed. She draws Brooklyn aside from the others to talk. Lois informs Brooklyn that they must go right now. Backstage, Anna and Chase practice, but no one has seen Gio, causing Lucy to fear. Emma asks Gio what's happening on the terrace, since her grandmother and Chase need him to play. He cries, "Yeah, I have to play since that is the gift I received from my mother. I'm a violinist and my mother taught me everything, and that's all I have left of her." Emma offers to tell them he's ill or anything, and he doesn't have to do it. Gio says he does, therefore the performance must go on. In the ballroom, Dante inquires about Cody and Lulu's situation. Cody claims Lulu informed him how he stood out after their Look of Love performance. Dante doubts this and instructs them to take their seats. Brooklyn informs her mother that she will not miss Joe's performance while her husband and Anna dance tango. Brooklyn walks away, and Sunny asks Lois what's up. Lois sobs that she is in severe distress. Sunny says they'll fix it later and asks them to take their seats. Lucy then introduces Anna and Chase as they dance the tango, accompanied by Gio on the violin. The performance begins, and Gio does his best to maintain his composure. However, he appears to be angry and hateful and he pauses. Anna checks on him and asks if he's alright. Gio looks out to the audience before taking center stage to perform something he's never done before. He has dedicated this performance to his parents, who did not want him, did not claim him, abandoned him, and lied to him. He dedicates it to his mother, Brooklyn, and father Dante. The audience is horrified when Gio smashes his violin on stage. Dante turns to face Brooklyn, who has a tear flowing down her cheek. Tracy demands release from the PCPD at the next General Hospital. Willow tells Drew she wants to put an end to the conflict over the children. Someone arrives at Liz's house and surprises her. Lucy questions Trina and Joss backstage as to why they are not dressed in their costumes. Sunny tells Ned and a heartbroken Olivia that Lois must know something about this. Carly advises Lulu to leave the track before she is leveled. At the PCPD, Jason answers the phone and asks, "What do you need me to do?" Rory Gibson debuts as Michael. Gio Bombshell Aftermath. Soap operas are known for their dramatic twists, emotional confrontations, and stunning revelations that keep viewers on the edge of their seats. The recent introduction of Rory Gibson as Michael, following the dramatic aftermath of Joe's revelation, has sent shockwaves through the fanbase, provoking intense debates and wild ideas about where the storyline is going. Gibson's presence is a watershed moment in the show's story, infusing new energy into a tale already rife with suspense, betrayal, and unresolved tensions. For weeks, viewers have been captivated by the impact from Joe's revelation. A secret so horrific that it has upended relationships, wrecked trust, and left multiple characters in shock. Michael's debut could not be more timely, since his presence adds another layer of intricacy to an already tangled web of emotions. Fans have speculated about his exact motivations, his relationship to existing characters, and if he will be a cause for healing or more turmoil in the aftermath of Joe's acts. Rory Gibson takes on the part with imposing presence, adding depth and dimension to Michael, a character steeped in mystery. His performance has already received accolades for its intensity and emotional range, particularly in scenes where he confronts the consequences of Joe's betrayal. Whether he has locked eyes with a distraught lover, exchanging angry words with a rival, or silently contemplating the weight of the revelation, Gibson's performance ensures that Michael is more than a one-dimensional newcomer. The fallout of Joe's bombshell has shattered relationships, with some characters striving to reconcile their feelings and others seeking vengeance. Trust has crumbled, friendships have moved, and long-buried secrets threaten to emerge. Michael's entrance appears to exacerbate these tensions, as his interactions suggest he may know more about Joe's history than he initially admits. Is he friend or foe? Peacemaker or provocateur? The mystery surrounding his goals keeps spectators wondering, ensuring that every scene he appears in is fraught with tension. Meanwhile, the emotional repercussions continues to affect the show's main protagonists. Some are drowning in guilt, others in rage, and a few are desperately attempting to pick up the pieces of their broken hearts. The writing team has expertly integrated Michael into this chaos, ensuring that his presence feels natural rather than forced. His relationships with crucial actors are gradually being disclosed, implying historical connections that might either heal or rip open wounds even more. One of the most interesting features of this narrative is its exploration of issues like as forgiveness, vengeance, and redemption. Joe's actions have triggered a chain reaction, pushing the characters to confront their own moral limitations. Will they choose to overcome their suffering, or will they succumb to bitterness? Michael's participation in this relationship is particularly intriguing. Some fans speculate that he could be the catalyst for healing, while others believe he is concealing his own evil goal. The chemistry between Rory Gibson and the existing ensemble has also been a hot topic. He holds his own in scenes with show veterans and newcomers alike, delivering thrilling moments that have rapidly become fan favorites. His interactions with certain persons foreshadow future scenarios involving conflict, romance, or even surprising alliances. The writers have clearly taken care to effortlessly weave him into the current story, making his debut feel like a logical progression rather than a sudden interruption. As the dust settles on Joe's Bombshell, the show's pacing stays unrelenting, with each episode revealing another layer of the aftermath. Viewers are left to decipher every gaze, obscure phrase of dialogue, and short encounter for hints about what is to come. The inclusion of Michael has further heightened the mystery, demonstrating once more that the story thrives on keeping its viewers guessing. After all, Gio erred by not contacting Dante or Lulu when he discovered Rocco Falconeri passed out at the beach party. Instead, he attempted to sober up the adolescent himself, and without Cody Bell, Rocco could have perished from alcohol poisoning. Despite Gio taking responsibility for his crimes and apologizing, everyone has forgiven him except Dante. The tension between the two has reached a fever pitch, with Dante refusing to back down from his position. Will Dante feel differently if the truth is revealed? Regardless, Gio may need time away from the Quartermain estate once he discovers the truth. Not only does Dante need space, but so do Lois Chirullo and Brooke Lynn. Plus, he is linked to almost everyone who lives at the QS, so he may be overwhelmed when Lulu drops her bombshell about him. Joe's paternal grandfather is Sonny Corinthos. Nonetheless, the two just had a pleasant conversation in which the mob boss assured him that if he ever gets into a difficulty, he can simply contact him. This is before Sonny realizes Gio is his grandchild, so once the truth is revealed, he will be willing to move mountains for the young man. Could Gio end up at Sonny's apartment looking for somewhere to stay? Sonny's house does have room for one more guest, but it isn't as overpowering as the Q mansion, which has a family member around every corner. Donna Corinthos may be a nice distraction from Joe's drama, and Christina Corinthos Davis may begin polishing her aunt skills by lending Gio a shoulder to cry on and a listening ear. Furthermore, Sonny will be present to assist Gio in processing this significant news, and with his uncle Jason Morgan dropping by on occasion, Gio may receive some unexpected family support during this difficult time. According to General Hospital teasers, this will irritate Tracy, who has grown fond of Gio and is eager to strengthen her friendship with him. Of course, this is unlikely because she despises Sonny, and it may just exacerbate their antagonism as they fight over their baby grandson. General Hospital spoilers suggest a new romance between Doctors Portia Robinson and Isaiah Gannon. While they both work at the hospital, they haven't been particularly close. However, everything changed after the Friday, May 16th program. After his nurse's ball practice with Willow Tate Corinthos, Isaiah returned to work, and as he passed by Portia's office, he overheard the co-chief of staff ranting about lying to her husband, Curtis Ashford. Portia was speaking with Ava Jerome, and when Ava pushed the good doctor to tell her husband about all of her falsehoods, Portia snapped. Because of his flirtatious and charming personality, Isaiah has amazing chemistry with many of the leading ladies on screen. The last thing GH wants to do is let Isaiah down. Therefore, he needs an exciting narrative or a potential relationship very away. Could he become entangled in the tumultuous arc between Curtis and Portia? Will he start a romance with his hospital colleague? According to General Hospital spoilers, when one relationship ends for Portia, A new acquaintance in Isaiah may represent a fresh start in thrilling romance for this difficult character, who frequently vacillates between good and not-so-good deeds. Eden McCoy and Maurice Benard spoke on the State of Mind podcast this weekend. During their conversation, she talked about school, but she also shared how she felt after her mother died. Read on to learn more. Nobody knew her mother was unwell. Maurice urged Eden to talk about her mother, Natasha. Eden explained that her mother did not want everyone to know about her cancer diagnosis. Nobody knew her mother had been fighting the sickness for years. It was a dreadful weight for Eden to bear, but she followed her mother's wishes. The real-life Jocelyn Jack stated, "I was walking around with something like that, with weight like that. And nobody knew. You would never have known." Those experiences, however, taught Eden McCoy to look at people with empathy, because she realized firsthand that no one fully understands what others are experiencing. Eden McCoy opens up on losing her mother. Coping with death. The GH star cherished her mother, and when she died, it was terrible. She recently spoke with a friend, who inquired how she dealt with her loss. Everyone navigates grief in their own unique way. So within Eden thought, "Let me know when you find out. Death isn't something you can solve," she explained. The ABC actress benefited from the fact that she had numerous pals to keep her company. "I hadn't been alone for months. I was never alone," she said, recalling the time when my friends became my everything. People were going to my house in shifts just to be there. I recall not wanting to be alone. That lasted months, and it was just enjoyable spending time with my buddies. Her mother is not dead to her. Recognizing the reality of Eden's grief, Maurice Benard learned that she was grateful that her mother kept a gratitude journal, which she still uses today. Another way she copes is to acknowledge that her mother was a part of her. Eden McCoy explained, "Still sucks. However, you can have a relationship with someone who is not physically present. You can build a relationship with someone who is not present. We aren't taught that. We're taught that they die, it's over, go on. But it is just not the case. It is, assuming you want to see it that way. But I come from my mother. I am my mother. She physically made me. She is a scientifically valid part of my body, which provides me great comfort. Also, I'm constantly learning new things about her because I'm a growing person." Gio rejects adoption truth. Moves in with Sonny to avoid parents? The news of Joe's adoption threw shockwaves through his life, leaving him with an identity problem and a profound sense of betrayal. For years he had trusted the family system that had reared him, only to learn that his parents had withheld a life-changing secret from him. The emotional aftermath was swift, with rage, perplexity, and a strong need to isolate himself from those he had once trusted the most. In a stunning turn of events, Gio packed his things and fled, finding safety with Sonny, a close friend who had always seemed more like family than his own blood. Joe's decision to move in with Sonny initially appeared rash, a knee-jerk reaction to the pain of the truth. But as the days passed into weeks, it became evident that this was more than just an escape, it was a rebellion. His adoptive parents, anxious to bridge the schism, reached out several times, but Gio turned them down, refusing to engage in conversations that felt too little, too late. To him, their attempts at reconciliation just served to cement the years of lying. How could he trust them again when they had concealed something so fundamental about his identity? Living with Sonny brought a temporary sense of security, but it was not a lasting answer. Sonny's house was a haven free of the heavy expectations and lies that had dragged Gio down, but it lacked the deep-rooted bond of family, even if it was a flawed one. Sonny, a sympathetic but sensible figure, gently advised Gio to address his emotions rather than run from them. But Gio wasn't prepared. The wound was still new, and the treachery was too deep. Meanwhile, his adoptive parents were distraught, wondering every decision that had led to this point. Should they have informed him sooner? Would it have made a difference? The guilt gnawed at them, but they couldn't remove the impression that Joe's reaction was excessive. Yes, they had hidden the facts, but they had loved him unconditionally. Didn't that count for something? Joe's rage gradually transformed into something more complicated, grief. He was mourning not only the loss of faith in his parents, but also the loss of the person he thought he was. His entire sense of self was based on a foundation that was suddenly eroding. Who was he exactly? Was biology even relevant, or was family defined by the ties formed over time? These questions tormented him, but he could not bring himself to confront his parents. Watching Gio struggle, Sunny realized that avoiding the situation was not an option. He mounted an intervention, compelling Gio to express his pain rather than hide it. Gio finally broke down during one of these naked, unedited chats, saying that some of his wrath originated from fear of being unlovable, fear that his entire existence had been a lie. Sunny listened, providing no simple answers but reminding Gio that running away would not heal the pain. Back at home, Joe's parents were having their own realizations. They had been so focused on protecting him from suffering that they had overlooked how the concealment could harm him in the long term. They were discovering that love was more than just shielding someone. It was also about being honest, even when it was difficult. They agreed to give Gio space while being prepared to speak with him when he was ready. The turning point occurred unexpectedly. Gio received a letter penned by his adoptive mother, full of genuine apologies and no excuses. She didn't seek for forgiveness. She just wanted him to know she understood his anguish, and that she loved him unconditionally. For the first time since the disclosure, Gio felt empathy rather than fury. He learned that his parents, like him, were human, capable of making errors and feeling sorrow. It was not an immediate reconciliation. Trust once damaged takes time to repair. However, Gio began to soften, allowing brief phone conversations and later short visits. The chats were unpleasant at first, with pauses and unspoken apologies, but they served as a starting point. He gradually began to regard his parents not as villains, but as flawed people who did their best. Gio was surprised by how the experience transformed him. He had spent weeks believing that biology was the ultimate truth, but now he questioned whether love wasn't the most powerful force. His parents had chosen, reared, and loved him, even if they made mistakes along the way. This had to imply something. In the end, Gio did not return home immediately. He needed more time to reflect and recreate his sense of self on his own terms. But he no longer saw Sunny's place as an escape, but rather as a temporary halt on his journey to figuring things out. The journey ahead would be difficult, but for the first time since the truth was revealed, Gio felt hopeful that he might someday find peace. His journey was far from over, but one thing was certain. Family, whether by blood or choice, was complicated, unpleasant, and occasionally broken, but it was also worth fighting for. The dissolution of a marriage is never easy, and Portia's abrupt end to her relationship with Curtis has left her emotionally devastated. Curtis, once a source of stability in her life, has chosen to walk away, forcing her to confront a future she never imagined, one in which she must navigate the complexity of loss, loneliness, and recreating her identity devoid of the partnership on which she had grown to rely. In the aftermath of such a deep loss, it's only natural for Portia to seek solace in those closest to her, and Isaiah appears to be that person. Isaiah has always been a dependable figure in Portia's life, whether as a confidant, a friend, or something more. Their friendship, formed over years of shared experiences, has weathered many storms, but none as intimate as this. As Portia deals with the emotional consequences of her broken marriage, Isaiah's place in her life appears to change from supportive friend to something considerably more important. His ability to listen without judgment and offer consolation without expectation provides her with a safe haven in the midst of her emotional turmoil. But as she relies more on him, worries arise. Is Isaiah simply filling the gap Curtis left behind? Or is something deeper, long unspoken, rising to the surface? Portia's shift from married to single woman is laden with anxiety. The life she had carefully built with Curtis, their routines, shared dreams, and even their disagreements, all vanished in an instant. In Isaiah, she finds more than just a shoulder to weep on. He reminds her that she is still deserving of love and companionship. His presence reassures her that she is not alone, even when the loneliness feels overwhelming. However, reliance can be a dangerous thing. As she spends more time with Isaiah, the lines between friendship and romance blur, leaving both of them wondering if their connection is based on genuine devotion or emotional necessity. Curtis' departure has left a gaping hole in Portia's life, and while Isaiah may help fill it temporarily, the true problem is whether she can heal on her own. Emotional rebounds are typical after a separation, particularly a difficult one like divorce, but they rarely lead to long-term happiness if they are motivated by desperation rather than true desire. Portia must ask herself whether she is turning to Isaiah because she genuinely wants him, or because she can't handle the notion of being alone.